What is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest podcast, and I'm sorry if I don't sound super energetic. I'm actually really tired for some reason, and I slept, I don't know, fairly well, to be honest. And I feel like I have not slept at all. Literally, I feel like I don't even know what sleep is at this point. So, joined
Damn, dude, you a bum.
by Andrew Best and Kyle Lepore, as usual. Except for last night. That was actually kind of weird. I don't know if you guys... I told Andrew this. I don't know if you know this, Kyle, but... Did you know that I did the show yesterday by myself?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Why? What the hell?
The show had to come out.
Oh,
It had to go.
jeez.
I did it.
Well, yeah.
I thought I did a good job. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking
I'm
about
sure you did. I
August
gotta watch it.
1st, Monday Night Raw. People are saying, "Oh, it wasn't that good." It went very smooth. That's a better word for it. I almost said fluid. Smooth.
Yeah, I'll agree it went smoothly, but I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it. Like, the wrestling-wise, it really was not a good show.
It was more of a
Entertainment-wise,
promo
it
show.
was good. Wrestling-wise, it was ass.
I mean, it was more of a promo show. I mean, that's really what it
Right.
was. When it comes to Raw last week set the tone high and set the bar high. So it was kind of like, holy cow, we haven't seen stuff like this in forever. And then SmackDown did what it did, so it was like, oh, that's awful. And I thought Raw, like I told Andrew, because Andrew was very disappointed, or he wasn't disappointed, but he was saying how he wasn't a big fan of this Raw, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually going to go through the text, that way I don't, say something negative with him involved in it,
Yeah, I got you. I mean, he could also defend himself, too. He could also say, basically, how he feels, but, like, that's possible, too, man.
Or was it you that said that too? He said I was kind of bored with this Monday Night Raw, and I told him, every single Monday Night Raw cannot be the same. We can't have a, 10 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 for every single Monday Night Raw.
It's one thing to, put on some, decent matches. It's another thing to, throw mind-boggling storylines at you. To the point where you're scratching your head and be like, really? Like, the whole Titus O'Neil, Darren Young storyline, the opening promo with Charlotte and Jericho versus Enzo and Sasha, which the entire time with Kevin Owens on commentary, I knew that's the way they were going with it. And they're like, watch them put them in together as a tag team match. This is going to suck.
Well, they're going to do that, but, like I said, they're doing that because Kevin Owens doesn't have anything for SummerSlam. There really isn't anything for him. He's not going to be going up for a title match. I mean, we're going to be seeing that with Roman Reigns, which is something we're going to talk about. Hopefully Juan comes in here. Hopefully he's going to ask a lot of questions because, I got a lot to actually say about Roman Reigns that are actually not negative. But, Kevin Owens sells tickets. So are you going to keep him off TV like they did with Sasha Banks? Or...
No, absolutely not. He has to be on a pay-per-view.
Especially with the second biggest event of the year. I honestly look at SummerSlam and Monday Night Raw to be WrestleMania to be the biggest pay-per-views of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I agree with that.
I could see, and also Enzo and Cass need something because it's kind of obvious that we're going to see the Club or Anderson and Gallows versus the New Day at SummerSlam.
Yeah, easily.
So, I don't know. What were some more highlights for Monday Night Raw tonight?
Brock Lesnar. Seeing him in general is always a highlight, kind of thing. Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, I thought they had a great match. Cesaro and Sheamus, I thought they had a really good match as well. There were a few good matches, a few good promos, but I do agree with you. It can't be like an 8 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 Raw every time. But just like Andrew said, tonight was just really boring for me. The matches, wrestling wise, it wasn't good. The matches they had, and promo wise, it was I don't know.
Honestly, for me, this show was a 5 up until the point where Brock Lesnar came out, and then the RKO just bumped it right up to an 8. So
See, I don't even think. I thought it was a 7. I honestly thought it was a 7. Dude, the RKO coming out of nowhere was so like predictable. There was part of me that's like, nah, he's a part of the SmackDown roster. There's no point. And then out of nowhere, but I do love how like
That's what I was thinking.
Raw was like, oh hey, he can't be here. Like,
Yeah, I like that.
speaking.
I mean, honestly, I wanted to think that Rain was going to come out, but I thought the entire time that Rain was going to come out because, like I said, they segregate them to where Raw Superstars on one brand, SmackDown on the other one, so they just keep it like that. I didn't think they were going to have Randy come out. I really didn't.
Well,
Took
speaking
me
of,
off guard.
there is something I'm wanting to say, and there was a fan or a group of fans that had their signs taken away, and basically what the signs were promoting the local Atlanta wrestling, wrestling promotion. Had the people's name that got basically demolished in the squash matches, and let's just say this: yeah, you bought $500 for a ringside seat, but you're promoting WWE's competition. That's like going to a. I mean, I can't put it into a sports analogy because.
Like going to a Phillies game and holding up Yankees signs.
Or no, I wouldn't say Yankees. The better would be to go to a Red Sox game and have like Yankee stuff and not expect it to get beat up or something, and like talking a bunch of trash. Right. Here's the thing: if you are a fan, and I've seen it happen. The Rangers and Houston Astros are big rivals in the state of Texas. I have seen at Rangers games and Astros games one of the fans for the other team talking a bunch of shit, starting shit in the crowd, and that guy who is the Rangers fan or the Astros fan will get kicked out. Now I get supporting your team, but if you're there to start shit, then yeah, you deserve to get kicked out. But again, you're promoting their competition. It's not.
Yeah.
That'd be like someone that likes WCW more than WWE going to a WWE event, getting front row right on TV and saying WCW is better. Do you not expect them to get in trouble?
Exactly. People are just stupid, man. It's going to happen all the time. People are stupid.
But squash matches, we can get those out of the way. Braun Strowman still did. I mean, it was basically the same thing he did last week. Seriously.
I hate
Snitsky
that,
strikes
dude.
again.
Like, goddamn.
Snitsky strikes again.
He's got a weird hairstyle going, dude. Do you see that? He's like shit inside. He has like a long ass ponytail down almost to his ass. Like, what the fuck?
He's got the Obi-Wan Kenobi
It's
ponytail.
I just love how that guy, like, they interviewed that guy. He's like, so what makes you want to, like, come in the ring with Braun Strowman? He's like, well, they gave me $1,000, and they said if I win, I get $5,000. Like, what the
Honestly
fuck?
and truthfully, if I was a wrestler, I mean, obviously I don't know, but I probably wouldn't do that for $1,000.
I mean, I wouldn't, dude. You're getting the shit kicked out of you on public television in front of, like, millions of people.
If I'm wrestling and for my local, like, wrestling company, I'm the champion, I'm not going to allow myself to get humiliated or embarrassed.
Oh,
on television.
Because basically that's what your squash matches are. You're just signing up to get embarrassed.
Like with Braun Strowman's sake, he did the same thing that he did last week. He pushed him into a corner, Irish whipped him into the other, ran it, it was the same thing, and then the backwards chokeslam was kind of like, okay, that's it? Like, again, this is it?
Well, Nia Jax basically did the same kind of thing.
Nia Jax looked
For the most
stronger.
part.
Nia Jax looked stronger last week than she did this week, but I still think she looked good this week.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on. Let me get to this
cool
point because I don't disagree with you at all. But like, just for anybody who's listening, when you compare the two matches, how do you make a strong distinction between who was stronger and who was weaker? Like, what's the criteria for determining that?
Well, Nia Jax did her leg drop, got to the count of 2, put her, forced her arm up or shoulder up, and then did another one. That's why she looked stronger last week. She looked really mean. She looked really mean this week when she, went after her after she was already defeated, but it was kind of pointless because all she did was kick her. I don't know. I thought that Nia Jax looked a lot better last week than she did this week. I could be wrong. I know Kyle thinks that Nia Jax is just plain awful, but I think she looks good with the squash matches.
No, hold on. No. I don't think she looks awful. It's just like, I mean, I like what she's doing right now. It's just like I still think that she should have more time in NXT personally. But I mean, she's doing well now. The real test is going to be once she's done with the squash matches, how she does with the real women in there.
Yeah,
That's what I really want to
I
see.
mean
Not just with the
that's the
Sasha
biggest
Banks, the
question.
Charlottes, the Dana Brooks.
That is the biggest question. Look at everyone with squash matches. A great example is Chris Masters, someone like Chris Masters, who gets these matches to look good and then gets into a story, and it's totally downhill from there. That is the great question. Because like I've said before, in my opinion, Nia Jax is the Andre the Giant of women's wrestling. And it's we've already seen it
Right.
with Bayley, and we kind of saw it with Asuka. She's going to be hard to work with because of her size. And I'm not saying she's fat, because she's not. I liked what they did with Roman Reigns. Oh, hey, your dad's in the chat, by the way, Andrew.
Woo.
I liked what
Is he
they did.
really cool?
Yeah. Um, but it's gonna be interesting to see what she can do, because there's no way they're gonna put her into the title picture right away.
Not just have her
Oh,
dominate the
of course
local
not.
competitors for like a month or so, then have her actually face a real wrestler and have a feud going, and then maybe in like 3 or 4 months you could put her in that title picture.
Well, the guy last week who got beat up by Braun Strowman was actually selling autographs for $20 because he got meme famous. Apparently he waved when he got lifted up for the backwards choke slam.
Oh wow.
So that poor guy. Well, I got the opportunity to wrestle for WWE. Didn't know it was gonna be him.
That was just
It's
hilarious.
ridiculous.
That was better than the
That
match.
was.
That little 5 second segment there.
Yeah, it was. But let's get on to it. Your dad wants to hear us talk about Roman Reigns. We'll talk some Roman Reigns. I actually have a good bit
Yeah,
to
let's
say
do it.
about it. Andrew, do you want to say what you want to say about Roman Reigns real quick? What you thought of him
I
being in the U.S. title picture?
I think it's hilarious that
That's a good.
you have. No, I'm gonna say this, and like I said, we don't hate Roman Reigns in this chat. We just we're tired of seeing him get shoved down our throats. And like when we saw him lose to Finn Balor, we kind of got a reprieve because we knew that he wasn't going to be in the, to WWE,
We don't have to
Universal
see him
title
3 or 4
picture.
times a night.
Yeah, we don't have to see him all over the place. Well, he comes out for the United States Championship, and you see this little face-off. And at first, I think I texted you, Blake, and the first thing I said was, "Wow, this might actually be a good thing. He's coming out and he's not getting booed." As soon as I said that, he got in the ring and automatically got the boos. And I was like, only with Rusev does Mark Henry get put over unbelievably, and Roman Reigns gets booed compared to Rusev. It's just like, this was such a good thing, but the people are still not embracing it. And you you have to ask yourself, is it because it's still a championship that he's going for, or is it because people are still a little bit sore about the whole drug thing? Like, that's the thing that I'm a little up in the air about. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I think it's a good thing. Keep him on the U.S. title picture. He might not necessarily win the U.S. title, which is okay, but have him do something. You can't have him sit the sidelines. He has to be in SummerSlam somehow.
What about you, Kyle? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Andrew. I mean, yeah, like you said, when he came out, I was honestly surprised. I didn't think they were going to move him down to mid card, but I get like he can't be in the main event, obviously, so they had to do something with him. And why not put him in the U.S. title picture? Because no one else is there, and he'd be the guy, I guess, to dethrone Rusev. I mean, he'll easily win at SummerSlam when they have a match there. I mean, he'll 100% be able to dethrone Rusev and finally take the title away from him. But I think it's good. Will it get him over like with the fans yet? No, not at all. He'll still say being booed. He'll go into SummerSlam being booed at the building, and so will Rusev. Honestly, they'll both be booed at the damn building, so that'll be a fun match to watch. But it is. I do like where Roman's at. I don't like him in the main event picture. I do like him in the U.S. picture. I think it'll be a good feud, even with Rusev or whoever it is going up for that title. I think it'll be good. I do like where he's at.
The one thing that I do not like is how we gotta get you off the main title picture. So what we'll do is give you this title to work on. That's the only thing I dislike, is how he's getting put right back onto another title instead of kind of doing his own thing and then going after something. But we'll see. I think the one thing that works in Roman Reigns' favor is You don't have that top heel who is the cool dude like Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, who will get cheered no matter what. Rusev
Right.
gets booed by the entire crowd because he hates on the United States, and they, the guy's just plain annoying. So I think that's going to be what's going to work for Roman Reigns. I also think that with Roman Reigns, um, I think it's fresh to see him like this, and like I said, we're not going to see him 3 to 4 times a day, because of him being in the main eventer for the company. Again, I think that him being in the mid card, I like it. I actually like him being at the mid card. He will not get cheered until he turns heel. He will never be cheered until he turns heel. Even when he
Yeah, that's the
turns
big
heel,
problem.
he will not be cheered.
Well, let me
I
ask
don't
you
know. I think
this:
when he turns heel,
how long will it take for WWE to say, you know what, we made a mistake, let's turn you heel, let's see where it goes?
They can't turn him heel anytime soon. If they're going to be doing the U.S. title angle, are you going to really change your mid card top heel, which is Rusev, to a face?
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, then there you go. I mean, there's no telling when to turn him heel. There really isn't.
I'd say as soon as he wins the United States title, make it look like he's gonna, thank the fans for everything and it's supporting him. Turn him heel.
If you want my god honest opinion, I don't think that Roman Reigns should win the title. I think what they're doing with Rusev is to try to make the guy look like, super strong, and I think one of the best ways to do that is to beat Roman Reigns.
I mean, I think Rusev already looks super strong. He's defeated like everybody that goes up against him.
Come on.
He already looks pretty
He's
damn
beaten
strong.
Kalisto. He's beaten Titus O'Neil twice. He beat Zack Ryder. I mean, and then he beat
Okay,
Mark
true, but
Henry
still, look at how long he's held the U.S. title. Both reigns, though.
since Extreme
Look how long he's
Rules.
held the title. Even his past reign, too.
Since
It's still,
Extreme
look at his past reign, too. It was a long reign. And honestly, what I could see happening is that, I mean, there's a small possibility. Maybe Roman Reigns doesn't win, and if Reigns doesn't win, that's when you pull, like, Roman Reigns, I think, going to heel.
You're
I think
absolutely
that'd be
right
the time.
that, look at his past reign, but what ruined that reign? One, John Cena getting the U.S. title and doing what he did, and him joining the League of Nations.
Hmm.
Which was a stupid idea on their part. They should have never, ever, ever did the whole United Nations thing.
Oh my goodness, you don't understand like how refreshing it is not to see that, and just to know that I don't have to ever see the League of Nations ever again.
Well, the only reason they did that is so that they could, all four of them could get at WrestleMania. That's literally the only reason. They even said that in an interview. That's the only reason they put that fashion in it, so that all four of them could be on the Mania card.
And that's one thing I don't like. If you're not selling tickets, you're not doing good, then don't put them on the card like they used to do. But now we're like, okay, we got to get you in the Mania somehow. How can we do this? We could have such a good card where almost every year is the best WrestleMania ever. But instead, we have to worry about putting everyone in the card because we don't want people to be unhappy on the roster. I mean, honestly, that would light a fire under my butt. Like Cesaro. Cesaro showed how unhappy he is with where he's being put in, creative wise, and how he's not being put into a title picture, and also how he thinks he's the best wrestler, but yet he's sitting at a panel, and look at him. He's been put into title pictures. He's going to be put into a U.S. title or a Universal title picture now. If you lash out, it could possibly help you.
It could. The surprising thing that Cesaro did, which a lot of superstars don't do, is he did that like live on TV, which a lot of people are too afraid of. They're scared they're going to get fired for it, that kind of thing. Cesaro, he didn't care. He just said it. He said how he felt, and I love that he did that.
You could also throw in that Ryback did the same thing, but Ryback did it behind their backs and with interviews. On small
CM Punk did it too.
CM Punk did it, and he got pushed, though. The initial time he did it, he got pushed, and he had the championship. The second time he did it, well, he's only done it once. Then he was unhappy. Then they gave The Rock the belt. Then he was unhappy with the fact that he was getting beat by part-time superstars. And that's what led him to leave. The first time, the pipe bomb, all of that, that was him saying, I'm not happy with where I am. I deserve to be in the title picture. If you were to give CM Punk the main event for WrestleMania, he would be happy. Because that's all he really wanted was to be, because he which he is right. He deserved to be in the main event for WrestleMania. The time he held the title, well, guess what? He couldn't main event because Rock and Cena had theirs planned out a year before. Hi, Jordan.
Hmm.
Maybe it's a good thing for Cesaro to do that, you know? I mean, he's got to get in there somehow. And, you know, he's one of the forgotten talents in the WWE roster. The one guy that deserves to be there, but never makes it there.
You know, when I first started the Realest podcast, or you could say at the time we were still wrestling rocks, it was before Kyle came in. It was when they were doing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship title when Seth Rollins got hurt. I was watching Cesaro, and I honestly told my the co-host at the time, Chris. I told him, I said, I'm really becoming a Cesaro fan. The guy can wrestle, and the guy deserves to be in a title spot. Then he got injured. He came back, and it looked really good for him. And you know, he's been in title pictures, but he really has not lost a title, or he hasn't really lost. He's been, in a sense, he's been in fatal four ways. The one singles match he got was ruined by Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Like, come on, like the guy really does deserve a full 30-minute one-on-one.
Absolutely. I would love to see him, honestly, at the main event SummerSlam.
Right.
I think it'd be cool to see him, like him against Dean Ambrose or something like that, like in that title picture. He really should be. He would do amazing in it.
Well, at this point, honestly, it's just SmackDown's getting a bunch of the former WWE stars. You know, in the coming weeks, we're going to be seeing Shelton Benjamin. I'm sure we're not going to see him next week. They're going to hype him up really hard. There's rumors that Kurt Angle is in the talks with WWE, and there's also another rumor that he already has a deal signed off, which would make sense for American Alpha. Honestly, I think Kurt Angle as a heel would be best. What else is there? There's, like, we saw, what's his name, that just came back today?
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal.
Mahal.
Well, see, there's so many things you could do with Kurt Angle and Shelton Benjamin. Kurt Angle and Shelton Benjamin have working together in the past. Both of them have the collegiate background, the Olympian-like background that American Alpha is. That could be a huge stable right there. I mean, if they really wanted to. Really wanted to push that.
Team America or Team Angle again.
I mean, it definitely could work. You know? Have American Alpha dominate the tag team division, Shelton Benjamin dominate the Intercontinental division, and of course Kurt Angle, whether or not he's wrestling or not, or healthy enough to wrestle or not, he can either manage or go for be a part of the world title picture in terms of like an antagonist, or even better as a face competitor.
Right. I can tell you this with what's his name, Gauze. Andrew, your dad says, what about the Road Warriors knockoff on Raw? Do you think they were forgotten talent?
The Road Warriors knockoff.
Is he talking about the Ascension?
Are they talking about the Ascension? Oh, well. The Ascension, I've said this week in and week out. The Ascension are one of the best tag teams. You know, they were in NXT. Until, there was a thing that I read earlier from Animal, and it was about Sasha Banks and how he felt that basically Sasha Banks is being pushed down our throats, just like Roman Reigns is, and how he's sick and tired of seeing somebody like Sasha Banks. And you know, that kind of like irritated the heck out of me, because it's the complete opposite of it. Like, there are people that are getting shoved down our throat, Roman Reigns, but Sasha Banks, absolutely not. But
Sasha Banks,
just
before she came back and went for that title, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think to be exact, we didn't see her on WWE television since the night after WrestleMania.
Not to mention, we had a whole crapload of "We Want Sasha" chants.
Like,
in any women's match.
Sasha Banks has a growing crowd, a healthy growing crowd, and Roman Reigns is honestly, his fans are going downhill day by day. But speaking of, another thing that's come out is a lot of old timers like Ric Flair are unhappy that Finn Balor is getting the push that he is getting. Ric Flair actually said that he thinks that Finn Balor should have lost to Roman Reigns. So in a sense,
a bad move,
a
though.
lot of all the old timers are saying that Roman Reigns, who is the top guy, deserves to be in the main event of SummerSlam, or main event or co-main event. We don't know which is main eventing. For the Universal title. And then you have people like us who are like, no, Finn Balor deserves to be there. And, because Finn Balor can do it. And I love I really do love how edgy tonight's content was. Sasha
Oh yeah.
Banks and Charlotte, Sasha saying, if, your dad is Ric Flair, if you want to talk about one night stands.
New Day with their forbidden fruit gimmick.
Yeah. And then fucking Paul Heyman going crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like, Paul
Well,
Heyman sometimes makes me think, like, oh, good lord.
Well, he pushes the edge so much. It's just ridiculous how much he can get away with because he's Paul Heyman. If it was anybody else,
Exactly.
they would be in trouble. But it's Paul Heyman.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I mean, CM Punk was like that before he came to WWE kind of thing, but still, him coming here, Paul Heyman took him under his wing, and that's why Punk had that attitude kind of thing, because he got it from Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's always had that attitude, always, and he brought it to Punk, and that's how Punk got like that. That's why Paul gets cheered so much. It doesn't matter if he's a heel. He talks like a heel. He's with Lesnar, who's kind of a heel. The crowd loves him because he's treading on that line. He always does it, and it's amazing to watch.
Well, this is something that Paul Heyman said that actually makes a lot of sense. What about the statement Charlotte is greater than her dad? She's doing if she said that, it's because she's just trying to get heat from people that are hardcore Ric Flair fans, which is basically every single fan that respects Ric Flair. That's just her getting heat. But man, what was I gonna say? Because that totally caught me off guard. Like that totally
About Paul Heyman, maybe.
Oh, Paul Heyman.
Yeah, Paul Heyman, what he said.
He was doing basically live Q&As in the UK in his UK tour. He basically said, I can do things that will fire me, but if it works, they're not going to fire me because from a business standpoint, I am making them more money. So it would make no sense to fire me. So what he's doing is pushing buttons, which he's done before with SmackDown when he was the head writer for SmackDown. He's pushing buttons. But as long as Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton is good, it won't matter. By the way, I totally I honestly and truthfully changed everything up, including the title and our bio. And for some reason, YouTube decided not to change everything. So for about 28 minutes now, we've been covering August 26th Monday Night Raw.
I've noticed that. It's been a little weird.
I was like, what? Like, how is this? How is this that? I just want to make an announcement, everyone, that next Tuesday we will not be live. Actually, there is still a possibility if Andrew or Kyle can produce the show, then we will be live. But next Tuesday with SmackDown, we will not be live because I will be flying to Portland, Oregon. But after that, we will be live and smooth sailing. And Kyle, I know this is your first time hearing that. I did try to get a hold of you to tell you, but there you go. If you don't know,
cool.
now you know.
All right, yeah.
Trying to pick up some more things on Monday Night Raw that I know we've missed. What do you guys think of...
Bob Backlund did not rip his shirt off.
What do you guys think about that? About Titus O'Neil basically kind of turning heel?
I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it's a weird kind. I mean, I don't think it's good because they have chemistry. We have seen before when Combat Players were a thing. They broke up, then they had a feud where it was the exact same thing. Darren Young being face, Titus being heel. They've already replayed this before, so I don't know why they're doing it. I get it; they have good chemistry, kind of thing, but I don't know why we're doing this again.
Okay, well, what do you guys think about Randy Orton coming out of nowhere with an RKO? I know Andrew was probably flipping shit.
I was fanboying.
Oh, Chris Jericho?
Randy Orton coming with the RKO on Raw? Oh my god!
Your dad says that she did not say that it was Chris Jericho. Then that's also Chris Jericho just adding heat to himself, which in my opinion, I think he's one of the best heels the company has right now. Because he's not that, heel that you just hate because he's like super strong and really mean. He's annoying.
Yeah. No, that's always been his heel-like character. He's never been the super strong heel. He's always been the annoying heel. Like The Miz. The Miz is an annoying heel. The only difference between The Miz and Chris Jericho is The Miz plays more of a coward-like heel, where Chris Jericho is just plain old annoying.
Right. I'm over here trying to get like the results for tonight's Raw, and the WWE.com's screwing up, so I honestly can't figure that out for everyone.
Well, I mean,
everything like small.
the
things
whole. I mean, I want to touch on something.
Well,
Well, yeah, I want to
that's the
touch on something
point.
small
Say
about
something,
Golden
man.
Truth. Well, yeah, Golden Truth. I'm hating what the fuck they're doing with them, and the Shining Stars. I'm really trying to like. I'm trying to put their gimmick aside and like them for their wrestling because they are good in the ring. They really are good in the ring. Their gimmick is one of the worst things ever, but they are pretty good in the ring.
What's that?
What?
Nia
What
Jax
would that?
creates the People's leg drop in tribute to her cousin, The Rock.
What the fuck? Why is every Samoan here related? They're all related. Everybody's a cousin of The Rock. Usos and Reigns.
Here's what's funny is Roman Reigns isn't even related to The Rock, but they're cousins because they're Samoan.
Cause that's exactly how it works. Any Samoan that, like the guy in the Cruiserweight Classic, he's the cousin of Roman Reigns and the Usos too. Everyone is related. What the fuck? They have the biggest family tree ever.
I'm just letting everyone know I'm Samoan, so I'm also related to The Rock and
Yeah, Samoa
the
Joe.
Usos.
No, he has Samoan in his name, so he's related to The Rock, obviously.
I'm
Oh
waiting
my
for
God.
it. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, they're gonna say it. Watch when he gets moved up. They're gonna fucking say it, dude. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever watched. I don't understand it. Oh my god, it's insane. I hate it.
The Samoans are taking over, man. Drink it in.
Bring it in, man.
Oh, I hate that's one of the worst things.
No, but I know that Nia Jax is actually related to The Rock because she actually works out with The Rock. But Roman Reigns is related to the Usos. I'm wanting to say Roman Reigns' father is either Umaga or one of the others. But I know Rikishi is the Usos' father.
Right.
So that's Roman Reigns' uncle.
Yeah, they are actually related.
So.
No, I don't know how The Rock is related to everyone else, but
Dude, every Samoan's related in the WWE. When it comes to WWE, every single Samoan in history is related to each other. That's how it works.
Isn't that the truth? So let me get your guys' opinion on this. I talked about this on Keeping It Real, and this is going to be something to keep the show going because, again, in my opinion, I think we really have talked about everything that we can talk about with the WWE. And Kyle, to answer, there is no way we're going to be liking the Shining Star. Well, other than like super small things like, I mean, Golden Truth. You know, R-Truth cost them the match because he's playing Pokemon Go, and Michael Cole had to have the pickup line, "Pokemon, no."
No, I'm tired of Michael Cole already.
What it makes me.
I swear to God, if I hear overhead kick one more time, I'm gonna throw my controller.
But you know,
said it like three times.
but it is the Pele kick for AJ Styles.
Yeah, apparently it's the Pele kick for AJ Styles with the overhead kick for Balor. They can't combine them apparently.
It
You
was
can't
the
have them be
Pele
the same
kick
thing.
in NXT, and all of a sudden it's the overhead kick.
Let me get y'all's opinion on this, by the way. So Brock Lesnar has been exempt from taking the wellness policy from WWE, even with all of these drug test failures that Brock Lesnar has had to deal with.
Well,
With
yeah,
the
because the
200.
policy strictly states that it does not apply to part-time employees.
They can though. That's
He has
the
a
thing,
contract.
Is he can, but they're
He
making
has a
him
full
exempt.
contract.
No, they're making him exempt.
That's a joke.
And WWE superstars are very unhappy. And I said on Keeping It Real, I said, you know, when it comes to like a mid-carder like Adam Rose, who gets screwed even though his is prescribed, and you could also throw the case for Roman Reigns, it does not make the company look good. And that's, you know, I was just wanting y'all's opinions on it.
That's such a joke, dude. It's because the
Okay,
only reason
so-
it's Brock Lesnar because it's the Golden Boy.
Breaking news: his father is Sika of the Wild Samoans.
Who said? Wait,
Roman Reigns.
wait. Who are we talking about? You got me like Roman
Roman
Reigns.
Reigns.
Okay. Yeah, I remember hearing that. Well, who's Sika
You
related
guys
to?
were
Because this
asking.
fucking. I remember that because when he had the whole feud with the Authority kind of thing, Vince made that joke of saying that he paid Sika like pennies and that kind of thing. So I do remember that. But who's Sika related to? Because
Just
I don't
Well,
know where
he's
the
also
a
want to
streak
he's
goes
a
state.
from there.
Noah, so he's related to Yokozuna, Rikishi, Umaga. They're all part of the Noe tribe.
I also want to state that every Samoan on these Samoan islands are all inbred. I'm joking. I'm joking. Um,
We got some major backlash. I could watch at night. Jack's gonna pay you a personal visit. Give you the people's
Oh my!
leg
He's
drop.
gonna hit with the people's leg drop, dude.
I'm
Look
gonna
out,
be
boy.
laying down. I hear doom doom, dude. I'm not a moose, girls. Like, wait, what?
Oh my
I'll hear
god.
her walk-in music, or and I'll be like, it should be like, so I hear all Samoans are inbred, but I'm not like most Samoans.
Yeah, she's not like most. She's not the inbred one. She's different, apparently. I'm not like most of mine. Oh my god.
That only takes.
Hey, the whole Brock
They're
Lesnar thing is
given.
ridiculous, dude. It really is
I
like
dig him
ridiculous. Like
feud.
that's, I get why they're doing it, but it's ridiculous. I don't like that.
Yeah. I get Randy Orton being allowed on Monday Night Raw because that's the only way they're going to be able to go on with the story. Like, I can guarantee you Randy Orton's going to cut a promo in the coming weeks and Brock Lesnar's going to come out of nowhere. Calling it right now.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's going to keep happening because they have to. They have to. Like they've already built the feud, like this match, so much. They have to keep building, and they can't do it while they're on different brands, kind of thing.
But,
So now that we saw Randy on Raw, I guarantee tomorrow on SmackDown, I guarantee we'll see Lesnar. Watch this.
you know,
I guarantee we'll see him.
I was actually thinking, and this is going to be something that I'm actually going to give away a prediction here. For SummerSlam, and oh no, I never did. You know, I actually don't like.
Oh,
Doing
no.
that. I don't like predicting something before a prediction show because I think that's what makes our prediction shows, special. Is that's the only time you ever get to hear our predictions. So, I was actually thinking earlier about the SummerSlam card, and I was thinking, man, it honestly does not seem like it's going to be that strong. But then I thought you have two title matches, which right now one Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, which is in my opinion going to be huge. Which, if you were to ask me, I think that one should main event. You also have Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose, which has potential to be huge, but it all depends on how Dean Ambrose can be and do as a champion and how Dolph Ziggler goes in with a 30-minute match. Who farted?
What?
Who farted? 'Cause
Excuse me?
someone got caught red-handed. Who farted?
Not
The
me.
hell are you talking about, man?
I heard.
Not your dogs.
Okay, before I continue, here is your dad, Andrew says, here is The Rock's relations like his father and his grandfather. Several of uncles, Afa, Sika, the Wild Samoans, his cousins Rodney, Yokozuna, Rikishi, Rosie,
All this I previously stated.
Umaga, Johnsons, on the other hand, non-blood relatives are or were professional wrestlers, including his. But like I was saying with SummerSlam, you also have Cena versus AJ Styles, which basically got confirmed tonight with with commercials for SmackDown if that's going to happen again, which is another main event caliber match. And then you have Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton, which has a potential of being another main event caliber match. Which that's another interesting question. What will main event SummerSlam? Will we have Brock Lesnar main event SummerSlam, or will we just have these big matches like that we have the potential of seeing? Just all be on the same, card, and then have one of the title matches be the main event, which should be that way. And then you also have the potential of seeing a really, really good tag team match being the New Day versus Anderson and Gallows. And obviously we have the women's title match, which will be outstanding. Like this card
That's the
has
thing.
the potential of being great.
This is an all-star lineup. This is probably one of the best cards we've had in a long time. In terms of like match caliber, I mean, like Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles versus John Cena alone have the power to be the main event. Heck, I'd even say that Charlotte versus Sasha Banks can and should be a main event caliber match. It won't be because obviously the guys are going to have to.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you because I just totally did. If you want my opinion on that, which is another great topic, when do I think a women's match should main event a pay-per-view? It should be a pay-per-view like Battleground or Fastlane. Now continue.
I just lost my train of thought. But no, you have
the card.
Yes, but like what you have like a a all-star lineup like that, any one of those matches could be the main event. But I mean, if you're asking me, you're probably going to see that it's. I hate to say they're going to put Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton early on in the card, but I would like to I would like to see them towards the end. But I have a feeling they're going to put the Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton card somewhere in the beginning half of the pay-per-view, and have a title match like Dolph Ziggler versus Ambrose right after it or before it, and have John Cena versus AJ Styles on that second half of the pay per view, followed by the Universal title match for the actual main event.
Yeah, they have to though, because they have to spread all that out. Because, I'll be the first to admit I've been to so many shows, and I'm sure you have also too. And you've been to a lot of Monday Night Wars. Have you been to a pay per view?
I have not been to a pay per view. That's my next step.
Yeah, you need to go to a pay per view. One like it is, especially like with WrestleMania, which I went to. You can actually get really tired if there's like like a big match after a big match after a big match. You can get tired, and it's hard to cheer. But yeah, that's another thing we could talk about. I totally forgot to bring it up. Lillian Garcia is no longer with the WWE because she has to go take care of her dad, who is not doing well.
Yeah, I saw that. That's definitely rough to see.
I remember reading an article about it. Well, I think it was cancer, possibly. That she had to take off for.
That's why she wasn't there after WrestleMania for Payback and Extreme, or I think just Payback.
Yeah, because the rumor mill's been crazy, saying she got fired, and that just wasn't the case.
But if you want my God honest opinion, I think it's good that she's no longer there because it's a new era. Everything is switching. I think having her, having someone else there is best because it's a new era. You need new voices, just like what they've done with the announce team. I don't think that having Lillian Garcia, who's been there since I can remember, is good for for Raw anymore. And that sounds messed up, but that's just me being honest. And thoughts and prayers with her family.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but SummerSlam really does have the potential to being, man, even better than WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely, especially the wrestling wise. But I mean, what I would like to see with it that we don't get to see often is I would like to see possibly for some matches like some stipulations kind of thing. Like I think a perfect example would be for Styles and Cena because it's 15 years in the making. We saw it before, yes, but right now this is like kind of to settle the feud kind of thing. I think what would be awesome to see is like, can we bring back an Iron Man match? That would be amazing for these two guys to do that. Give them like 60 minutes, like how Orton and Cena did it before. Give them like a 60-minute Iron Man match, dude. That would tear the roof off the place.
It would, but
that'd be amazing. I think
you can't do that. That would mean a 30-minute match for a title match would be 15 minutes to 10 minutes, and that would not be good at all. Like maybe.
No, I know the card's like 2 stacks for it, but
if this was like a title match, I would definitely say, oh yeah, dude, go for it. But this is too big of a card to give only one match 60 minutes and to have the rest of it, having maybe 1 or 2 30-minute title matches. That would also mean the women's title match would be maybe 15 minutes, which it deserves to be 30 because they, at WrestleMania, in my opinion, they stole the show. Other than the Hell in a Cell match, in the Monday Night Raw, wow.
Yeah.
They stole it last week.
I'm going to tell you right now, like, in terms of what the card is, I see their match being the first match on the pay-per-view, but I hope to God that's not the case. They should put them further on in the back of the show just because of the talent that both of them have and have done together. They deserve to be higher up in the card than the opening match.
Well, I mean, I am going to say this, and I said I'd give away a prediction because I've been thinking about it a lot, and I really don't want to wait to say this. For Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton, obviously I'm going to be saying Brock Lesnar, but I can tell you this is going to probably be the one I'm going to be wrong about. Because look at WrestleMania 29 or 30. Everyone was saying, oh, Undertaker's going to beat Brock Lesnar. There's no way they're going to allow Lesnar to beat him with the streak, and what happened?
Last minute decision. That's what happened.
So,
because Undertaker was supposed to win that match, and something happened, and they changed it last minute, and Undertaker took the pin. I think he got hurt, if I remember right,
Yeah, he went to the
and he didn't
hospital.
want to go down that way.
He went to the hospital.
Yeah, Lesnar don't fuck around. That's why Undertaker's too old for this shit, man.
He, honestly, after he lost the streak, I honestly don't think there's a point of having him in the at WrestleManias anymore.
Well, it's
Yeah, there's
Vince.
not. He's
It's
really
Vince, honestly.
dumb.
The last few years, Undertaker has said that he's been done. He says it every single year. And Vince always convinced him to come back one way or another. And he only does it. He's like Brock Lesnar in a sense. Brock Lesnar only comes back and does a show if it suits him and if it's the way he wants to do it. Undertaker's the same way. He has to know what he's going to do, and he has a big say in who he faces and what happens.
Let's be real. Lesnar does it for the money. He could care less about if he pleases everyone.
Oh,
That's why
absolutely.
he's not a heel or a face.
Yeah, exactly.
Paul.
He's just a dick.
I think this match though it's SummerSlam. Man. I don't know.
Actually,
I think it's a toss-up.
last night I watched something. With Paul. I watched Paul Heyman's little stand-up stuff. And he said, He basically put out a conspiracy, and it was good. He said, I'm gonna make half this room either go like really questioning if I have said something I'm not supposed to say, or you're gonna be thinking, oh, this is BS. So what if at WrestleMania 30, Brock Lesnar chose he wasn't gonna lose that match? So when he went for that F5 and pinned Undertaker, he didn't allow him to get up. Now Brock Lesnar made a decision. He won't get fired because he did what he did.
That's an interesting thought.
I went and watched him get pinned. Undertaker didn't try to get up. So,
Oh yeah.
but I mean, it did make people I can tell you right now, people left that room going, did he just say something we're not supposed to know?
Yeah, there's a big difference between Brock Lesnar pinning the Undertaker at WrestleMania
Exactly.
and Sting pinning Jeff Hardy in
I'm
that debacle
not
you showed
lying to
me.
you. I am not lying to you. Paul Heyman said this. He said, now, if I would have said this about anyone else on that WWE roster, you'd be saying, no, that's bullshit. And he's correct. 100% correct.
Brock Lesnar has the easiest job of any wrestler,
Yep.
and it's because of somebody as gifted as Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman's
All he
the
has to
best.
do is sit there and give a smug smile while Paul Heyman does all the work.
Yeah, Paul Heyman's probably the best person to ever touch that microphone.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Oh, absolutely, easily.
I don't know. I think we should start wrapping it up. What are y'all's ratings for this Monday Night Raw?
I mean, I would go kind of middle of the line and give it like a 6. It was kind of in the middle. It wasn't great. It was kind of boring, but I mean, it was for what it was alright. So I'd go middle of the line and give it like a 6.
It's been worse, needless to say.
No, yeah, obviously, yeah, it's definitely been worse. Like tonight, it was a bad show. It was
It
just
was
it
just
was just an
smooth.
average show.
It
It was
was
just it
smooth.
was smooth. It was kind of boring, kind of thing. But
There-
yeah, like you said, it was smooth. But it was what it was.
The best way to put it is there was no need for anything crazy to happen.
Exactly, yeah.
Your
If
dad
it
gives
was to
it
be a
a
10 out of 10
5/6.
show, I'm fine with that.
What about
Yeah.
you, Andrew?
That's exactly what it was. It was just middle of the line.
I said a 5 before. I think a 5's good. I definitely love the RKO and all, but like I said before,
12 out of
it didn't
10!
really motivate me. It's a 12 out of 10 because the RKO out of nowhere, y'all. No, it just wasn't motivating enough. I was sitting there and I was kind of like, ugh, another hour of this. Another 2 hours of this. Oh, when will it end?
Right. I'm gonna give it a 7. Like I've said, it was smooth. There was nothing that made you question your intelligence. There was nothing stupid like we've seen, like the July 4th show. That's probably the best example. The July 4th show. I mean, it was a good show. Nothing crazy happened to make us say, "Oh my goodness!" Like the women's title match or the Fatal 4-Ways. It was just a good show on a regular Monday, and it was a 7. If Monday Night Raw can continue doing this, you won't hear us complain anymore. Obviously, we'll be nitpicking and stuff like that, but you won't hear us complain and us literally the entire show complaining about about it. And I probably won't have gray hair by the time I'm 23. So,
Well, SmackDown has a lot of work to do tomorrow because after last week, they really need to step it up.
You know what? I sat down and thought about it. I really did. I was really harsh on SmackDown because Raw set the tone. They really did. They set the bar high. And I think we didn't see that, so we immediately went to show sucks. 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I was generous. I think I gave it like a 6 or a 7. I'm always generous with my predictions, except for tonight, which is kind of scary.
But there's a rumor, actually, that this week Raw was going to take a step back and SmackDown was going to step up.
Oh, I know for sure. Tomorrow will be a great show for SmackDown. Watch. I'm predicting it's going to be like I give it like an 8 out of 10. No, I'm telling you not. It's going to be 8 out of 10. I guarantee. Because like I said, we're going to see Cena and Styles in promo. Because like I said, the biggest issue with last week's SmackDown is we saw all their big talent in one match. That kind of like that messed with the rest of the card. We didn't get to see the best matches we could see. Now that they're kind of separate, we get to see Cena and Styles have a promo. We get to see Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler do their thing. We get to see Bray Wyatt do things. We get to see more of the talent kind of separated and doing their own thing, giving promos and great matches. I'm telling you, tomorrow's going to be a great show.
And
I promise
you know what? The roster's not small. They have a 2-hour roster. They really do.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But is there any final thoughts you guys are wanting to say before we go?
What about Heath Slater, man?
No, I don't think so.
The hottest free agent.
Oh, yeah, Heath Slater, Jinder Mahal. That was horrible. Jesus Christ. What are they trying to do?
That shows you how excited we are for Jinder Mahal's return. So
I don't know why
I'll be honest, I didn't even recognize
they need
him.
someone they need a job.
I recognize him.
I recognize him.
And they didn't pick
like,
Heath
oh,
Slater?
look, it's the dude from the 3-man band.
They didn't pick Heath Slater to be the jobber, really?
Well,
They
need
picked
one.
Jinder Mahal to do
Heath
it?
Slater's basically stated that, I've been a team player, I'm ready for a push. Because he really has been a team player. You cannot deny that.
He's not a guy to get, like, a push, though. You could just look at him. He's not a kind of guy that you would see to get a push to be IC champion, a US champion, WWE champion.
I honestly think he has the potential to be an annoying heel.
Ziggler.
Don't you pick on
Dolph.
Leave Dolph alone!
Dolph is not
Leave him alone!
They're not on the same level, but I think
I get your point, but it's...
Andrew, is there anything you're wanting to say before we go?
Nah, I think I said it all.
Alright, well, I think that's going to do it. But look, guys, if you guys are wanting to support us, it's free. I promise. Kyle thinks it's not for some reason, but it is free. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. If you want to dislike the video, you can, because guess what? That supports us just as much. Also, comment on the video. And be sure to tune in tomorrow. Tuesday, we go with SmackDown. I keep calling it Tuesday Night SmackDown because, they
American Alpha, Alexa Bliss,
SmackDown Live, or Thursday Night SmackDown. SmackDown Live will be live immediately following SmackDown. Wednesday this week we'll have Endgame with State of Video Games, and then Saturday we'll have Keeping It Real. So, for Andrew Best and Kyle Laporte, until next time, I'm Blake Carter. Peace out.